When I talk to people who are interested in moving to the Sarasota area, sometimes they have been down here as a tourist and they've been around. Some of them have explored more. Maybe they already have family who are living here, and some people haven't been here at all. But even still, no matter which category you're in, or at least the first two, you may not have really seen everything. You don't know all the ins and outs or what little neighborhoods to look for. It can feel pretty overwhelming. So then I have people come to town. Of course, if they want, we get my car. I drive them around a bit. We'll look at properties. We'll zigzag around so they can get a better feel for the area. But often it's really ideal if people explore these areas on their own and they can check it out for themselves to get a feel. But even then they'll go, Jill, I don't even know where to drive. I mean, they know I-75 and 41, and that's kind of about it. So in this video, I'm going to cover some of these areas that you could really explore on your own to get a feel for Sarasota. Hi, I'm Jill Thomas, and each week I bring new videos about what it's like to live here in the Sarasota area, and then I expand it out to Florida living, and then of course I talk about real estate. So if you've been thinking about making a move, coming or going, then this might be a really good channel for you. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then keep on watching these videos. But then really what's important is when you're ready, give me a call, text, email me. I'm here to help you out so you can find the best place, find the best city for you to move to, or if you're looking for an agent to list a property, find somebody who you are comfortable with to list your home. When I first thought about making this type of video, because this is something I get asked a lot, I considered taking everybody from Parrish all the way down to Northport. But yikes, that's covering a ton of territory, and this video would be super long. So instead, I'm just going to keep it to Sarasota. Of course, I can't cover every street, every area, every neighborhood, every hot spot. So in the end, if you have some other thoughts or suggestions, please throw it in the comments below. But otherwise, we're just going to stay to the core section of Sarasota so you know where to drive around to see and to check things out. And I already mentioned a lot of times people are already familiar with I-75 or 41 Tamiami Trail, which both run north and south. Those are huge arteries in our area. So we're going to go off-roading a little bit. I'm going to make some comparisons or talk about things in relation to I-75 or 41, but I'm not going to say, hey, travel north or south on these roads. We're going to stay off of the main roads. Okay, so here is what I suggest you do. Number one, check out University Town Center. Now, University Town Center, or UTC, is really primarily at the intersection of University and Cattleman, but actually it goes over to Honore, which is one major street to the west. And this corridor here is just west of I-75. Now, like I said, it's at University and Cattleman. Just so you know, everything south of University is Sarasota County. Everything north of University is Manatee County. So that's technically Bradenton, but the whole UTC area is fantastic to look at. And then the area to the east of I-75 right there is Lakewood Ranch, and it goes up pretty far up to State Road 64, and actually it bumps now down into Sarasota County closer to Fruitville Road. Now, I made a whole video about UTC, the events, activities, what it all offers. Lots of shopping, restaurants, high-end, medium stuff. We got Target, we got BJ's, regular restaurants, really nice things as well, everything in between. So it's great. Lots of activities. It's a great community area with things going on. But instead of me digging into that right now, I would just suggest you check out that video that I made, which is episode 102. Number two, let's talk a little bit more about University Parkway. So as I already mentioned, that's the dividing line between Sarasota and Manatee Counties. It runs east and west. And as you head farther west, you're going to run into the Sarasota Airport, 41 Tamiami Trail, and then the Ringling Museum. Now, what I like is at the intersection of Lakewood Ridge Road and University is a great grocery store called Detweiler's. There's about 5 locations in our area between the two counties. Detweiler's, they call it, I think they refer to as a farm market. So it's not a farmer's market. It's not a grocery store. It's something kind of in between. And they sell everything from produce to deli, seafood. They have a great meat counter, everything, great ice cream. So I always encourage people to stop there, and I'll bug them, have you gone to Detweiler's? Have you gone there? And then once they do, they go, oh my goodness, Why didn't I go there sooner? So that's always just a great place to check out one of the locations of Detweiler's. Number 3, Honore. Now, I already made reference to Honore. It's just west of Cattleman. It runs north and south. So we're going to travel south on Honore. As we do that, we're going to first drive through an area called the Meadows. The Meadows is actually the first master plan community in the United States. So Lakewood Ranch is a master plan community. Palmer Ranch, which I'm going to mention in a minute, is a master plan community. The Meadows is the first one in the United States. It was a hot ticket in town back in the day in the 80s. And I really like this community. It's easy for people to drive through if you want to check it out. Different types of condominiums, single family homes. I think it's really charming and lots of mature trees. So first, check out the Meadows. Now you're going to continue down and you're going to hit Fruitville Road. This is another main road that runs east and west. It's exit 210 off of I-75. And we're going to talk about Fruitville in a minute, so I'm not going to stay here for very long. We're going to keep going south. We're going to drive through some more residential areas. We'll hit Bay of Vista, and then we're going to get to Bee Ridge Road. Bee Ridge Road is exit 207, and then the next main road is Clark, which is exit 205. So we're heading south. Now, I wanted us to go down this road because I think it's really interesting. This is one of the main roads I'll take people on when we're looking at properties, if it makes sense for us to do so, because this is a great way for people to head north and south. It's a pretty drive. And then once we cross Clark Road, we're going to get to Palmer Ranch, which, like I already mentioned, is another master plan community in the United States. It's a very pretty residential area. It's definitely newer than the Meadows. They're still building there. There's some places from the 90s there as well, but it's not as big as something like Lakewood Ranch. And you can actually take Honore all the way down to Venice, which we're not going to cover in this video, but I just wanted to mention that. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. There is a philanthropist named Bertha Palmer who came here about 100 plus years ago from Chicago. She bought a ton of land, lots of acreage. So you're Bertha Palmer, Palmer Ranch, that's her. Now we're on Honore Road. Honore is actually her maiden name and the name of one of her sons. So that's named after her. There's another road here called Potter, which was her husband's name. So there's a lot of history with all of that. Palmer Ranch, it was a ranch, is a ranch. There's still some cows around there right now. I don't think they're going to be there for years and years and years into the future. But right now, all these things, Lakewood Ranch, Palmer Ranch, they were truly ranches. And so Bertha Palmer is from Chicago, and she's part of putting Sarasota on the map. Oh, I also failed to mention, I did do a video on the Meadows, which is episode 67. So if you're more interested in that, take a look at that video. Number 4, McIntosh, Beneva, and Tuttle. Now, these are all roads that run north and south here in Sarasota, and they're all west of Honore. Each one, McIntosh is farther west than Honore, then Beneva's next, and then Tuttle's even closer to the beaches. Now, it's a solid mix of a lot of residential and some commercial, and in some areas even a little bit industrial. And so I think this is really good for you to drive up and down these roads just to get a better feel for the community in our area and what's out there, the type of housing, especially if you want to be closer to the beaches, because people have these visions of having certain types of homes and neighborhoods and they want to be 10-15 minutes from the beaches, and it doesn't really exist right here in the core section of Sarasota. So it'll help you to understand more about what our area is like. So check out McIntosh, Beneva, and Tuttle. And I also read too that Bertha named, I think it was McIntosh and at least Tuttle roads. And so again, she played a huge part in putting us on the map. Number 5, Fruitville Road. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're gonna get back to Fruitville Road. This is a road that runs east and west, exit 210 off of the interstate. Now, it's not uncommon when people call me up, they're gonna refer to it as State Road 780. And that's true. Sometimes on these maps, they emphasize the State Road 780 over calling it Fruitville Road, but nobody here calls it State Road 780. Everybody calls it Fruitville. And honestly, the first handful of times people would call me up, this was years back, and they would call it that, State Road 780. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I'd pull it up. Oh, okay, Fruitville Road. Gotcha. So we call it Fruitville, not State Road 780. Now, like I said, it runs east and west. What's really nice about this road is it takes you straight to downtown, the north side of downtown Sarasota. And then it's super easy to go over the Ringling Bridge, to go out to St. Armand Circle, Lido Beach. And so this is a great location. There is a lot of commercial on Fruitville because it is such a large road, but right off of it, there's a lot of different neighborhoods and side streets you can check out. So if you live in this area-ish, then you're going to be pretty close to a lot of those great things that people are looking for. And then of course, still having access to 75 to go north and south as well. Number 6, Bay of Vista. So the next street I want to share with you is Bay of Vista, and this does run east and west. Now for us who are locals, this is a main road for us to drive on, but if you're just here as a tourist, most likely you're not going to be on this road. And when I take people out on this road, they're kind of surprised, pleasantly surprised by being there, and they go, I didn't even know any of these things were here. And I think it's just because it doesn't take you directly out to I-75. Then people are usually on University or Fruitville or Bee Ridge or Clark, and those are our bigger roads. So I want you to check out Bay of Vista. Now, I did not take Spanish in high school, I took German, but Bay of Vista is probably really not the proper way to say the street name, but that's how we say it as a local. So if you say it much differently, we know that you don't live here. So it's called Bay of Vista, and I think the section like between like Cattleman, Honore, and McIntosh is a really pretty drive. And then you keep heading west. We have a couple of what we call like Amish or Mennonite style restaurants. They're Dutchman and Yoder's. You're going to drive through the Pinecraft area, which is a really fun little section. And so people are always pleasantly surprised when they drive through this area. They go, oh my gosh, I did not know like this is part of Sarasota and the culture. So I suggest that you check it out. Check out Bay of Vista. Number 7, Bee Ridge and Clark. So as I've already mentioned a couple times, these roads do run east and west. They take you out to 75. They take you out to 41. From these roads, it's easy to get to Siesta Key, or if you hop on 41, you can get to downtown, or however you would like. Lots of commercial, busy roads here. Again, there's lots of residential off of these main roads, lots of side streets. But again, these are areas that a lot of times tourists or people who are down here on occasion, they're already familiar with, so we're not gonna do a deep dive on these roads at all. Number 8, Siesta Key. Now, for some people who've been here, they're already familiar with Siesta Key, but it's still worth repeating for some of you. Now, Siesta Key is beautiful. It's a lovely barrier island with beautiful powder white quartz sand that never gets hot. You're not going to see seashells. That's a tongue twister. Very long beach, very deep beach. Busy, busy, busy. So it's just fun to at least drive through. If you can get a parking spot, get your toes in that sand, because it is an incredible experience, and I guarantee you've never really seen anything like this before. There are 2 bridges that take you out to Siesta Key. The one is Clark, which actually turns into Stickney Point once it passes over Tuttle, or see, that's the thing, Tuttle changes into Swift. Our roads here are kind of crazy like that. All of a sudden the names change once you pass over a certain road. So as you head west, Clark turns into Stickney Point, so that's the South Bridge, and then on the north end, Siesta Key, which is really close to Bee Ridge Road, will take you over the bridge there. So I recommend maybe you just come from the south, you drive through Siesta Key, and then you come out at the North Bridge. Number 9, west of the trail. Now, the reason why I was suggesting you go from the south to the north end on Siesta Key is so you can check out west of the trail this way. Now, when we say west of the trail, that's Tamiami Trail or 41. And it's a really just some delightful neighborhoods. Again, this is where people are a little bit surprised. When I do these cut throughs back west of the trail to get in and out, everybody's delighted that I do it, just because it's just something a bit different. Even if it's not your price point or what you're looking for, it's still kind of nice to see more of the community and the area besides the main roads. So what I would suggest, so you come over the bridge, you come over the North Bridge on Siesta Drive, then head north or take a left on Osprey. It's a side street, mostly residential. And then if you can, if you don't miss the road, take a left at Orange. It's kind of weird how it turns at a kind of a triangle angle. Take a left there, and it's so pretty. And then it just brings you right back out to 41 or Tamiami Trail. And actually that little section there is called Mound Street. Like I said, our street names come and go. They change as you drive around. So I'm sorry for that confusion, but it's just a really pretty area, mature trees. They are tearing down some of the older homes and building new, but it's just a lot of character. Now, let's say you go, okay, Jill, I missed the turn onto left onto Orange. That's okay. Stay on Osprey. And you're going to go through this area called Southside Village. And all of a sudden, this residential area, you're going to see just 2 little like plazas, 2 little strip malls. There's street parking. There's maybe 1 little parking lot there as well. Morton's Market. There's some restaurants, little shops. And it's sort of cute that it's just right there in this residential area. So it's in walking or biking distance for a lot of people that live there. And then also we're going to be on the backside of Sarasota Memorial Hospital, which is really based on 41 or Tamiami Trail. And then there's a lot of medical offices back there as well. So it's just a different glimpse, a different perspective of our area. So west of the trail is really beautiful. And honestly, you can check it out anywhere from, just south of Ringling Museum and then all the way down past the South Bridge to Siesta Key. So driving in and out of some of those neighborhoods is kind of a fun thing to do. Number 10, downtown Sarasota. Okay, so it's pretty easy for people to find Main Street. Throw that in your GPS. Main Street, Palm Avenue, they run perpendicular to each other downtown. So those are great areas to check out. A couple other little nuggets within downtown that people don't know about is look at Burns Court. So throw that in your GPS. It's this little section, some really cool old homes that are like mixed use, residential and commercial. There's the Burns Court Cinema back in there, Owen's Fish Camp. So that's sort of a neat area. And then also look up Towles Court, Towles. It's on and around Adams Street, and that's considered an artist colony. So there's a couple little sections that people don't even know are downtown, and they're kind of driving right past it and they miss it altogether. So there's a couple other little inside tips for you. 11, the Ringling Bridge. Okay, so now from downtown Sarasota, you can take the Ringling Bridge out to St. Armand's and Lido Key. It's such a lovely view. It's so fun to drive over. Lots of people will also bike, jog, or walk over the bridge. And so it's just a really pretty hallmark of our area. And you'll see a lot in aerial pictures and different marketing pieces is the Ringling Bridge. So make sure you don't miss that. Number 12, finally check out St. Armand's and Lido Key. So you've gone over the bridge. First, you're going to hit St. Armand's Circle with a lot of, it's more high-end shopping and restaurants out there. There's several actually ice cream shops out there as well. And then off of the circle, there's a lot of residential. And then you can pick up Lido Key. Also, the main drag there is Boulevard of the Presidents. And then also not Gulf of Mexico Drive, Ben Franklin, sorry. Everything out there is named after a president. So you've got Boulevard of the Presidents. So whether Ben Franklin, Adams, Washington, you have it. So it's all named after presidents out there. It is just a beautiful sight to see, and it's a lot of fun to go to. So that's St. Armand's and Lido Key. Okay, I wasn't really sure how to squish an entire town in one video. There's a lot of other things I could talk about. Longboat Key, Jungle Gardens, the celery fields. We could go on and on. This could be a really long video, but I at least wanted to give you a little bit of direction if you do want to explore the area on your own, so you don't feel like you're just driving around aimlessly. So maybe if you follow some of these tips or do some Googling based on what I've shared, it might help you out. So for those of you who are familiar with the area, I'm sure you could share a lot more things in the comments that I could have said in the video, but without it going on and on and on and on, here we are. So let me know what you guys think about all of this. So I hope this was a help to you guys, especially when you're new to our area or newer and you want to check things out. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. You have a great day.